Hi, I'm Crystal. Today we're going to make some shaped memorydex cards. I'm going to start out using dies and the special Heidi Swapp punch, but then I'm going to make a version that does not use any special tools. So I'm going to start out by cutting out my die. I'm using the Sizzix Tim Holtz Retro TV die, but any die is going to work for this project as long as it's a pretty good size shape. Memdex cards are generally about 4 inches wide, so it does need to be a pretty large die in order to do this project. But as long as it's a pretty large shape, any shape is going to be fine. And when we get to the no special tools part, you'll see that you can even use large ephemera. So I'm assembling my die. I've cut out all the pieces, and I've got some chipboard backing just because those rabbit ears tend to be a little delicate, and I want to make sure that they hold up to handling. So I'm gluing together all the pieces of the die. Once everything is assembled, you'll see it's very cute, but of course it's not a memorydex card. We've got some problems. On the back, you can see that I've used some washi tape to hold parts of the die in place, and of course at the bottom of the shape there's nowhere to use the punch to make it fit onto the holder. And we're going to solve this with some partial die cutting. So I'm going to take the die. This happens to be a steel rule die, but this process will work equally well for any type of die. And I'm going to cut out just the top of it, just the TV shape, and I'm going to leave the bottom open so that I will have a spot to use the punch. So the way that we're going to accomplish this is by selectively cutting out this die. So I'm going to mark on the die where I want the cutting to stop, which is about the bottom of the TV, just using a little piece of washi tape. Washi tape lines up with the bottom of the TV shape. And then I can put my paper hanging out so that I've got that extra space to use the punch. And I'm going to put the plate down just to the washi tape. So you'll get cutting where the plate is over the die, and where the plate is not over the die, there will be no cutting. So once I've got the plate placed, I'm just going to run it through the machine like that, and then you'll see that this die is only partially cut out. So once it's partially cut out, I'm going to hold the screen in place again with a little washi tape. This is going to be covered up when I sandwich everything together. Then I'm going to cut away the pieces that I don't need. So I've got all my washi tape in place, and I'm going to cut away the parts of this piece of paper that I don't need. The only place I need the extra paper is at the bottom of the shape. So I'm just cutting away at the top because I don't need that part, and I'm leaving the extra at the bottom. So now I'm going to take my cute TV and put it up to this shape. Whoops, I can see a little bit of washi tape, so I'm going to take that off. I'm going to hold my TV up again and see that it lines up. Perfect, love it. Now I need to cut away some of the excess at the bottom of the piece of paper. So I'm marking on the outside of the TV legs because that's where I want my card to stop. And I'm just going to mark a straight line with my ruler and cut away the excess on both sides. So trimming just a little bit into the TV shape, and then I'm going to cut away the excess on each side of the card. Now that I've done this little bit of cutting, I can glue the TV down in place. Perfect, love it. Get the glue down, assemble everything together, and we are good to go. Now that's probably a little bit more paper than I need at the bottom, so I'm going to mark off with my ruler about an inch. I think 3/4 to an inch is plenty. So I'm just marking to make sure that I've got enough paper at the bottom, but not too much. Drawing a line so that I can cut that off, and that was sloppy. Let's try that again. All right, this time it's going to be straight. There we go. Now I'm going to cut off that excess paper, and then I'm going to get that Heidi Swapp punch to punch the holes that will enable this to become a memorydex card. And there we go. We have a shaped memdex card. But of course we can do this with no dies and no special punch. Now in order to do this, you do need a blank Rolodex card to start because that's got the holes in it. But I've got my blank Rolodex card, and then I've just taken a picture of a TV from the internet, and I have linked to this particular photograph, which is free, if you would like to download it and make a TV Rolodex card yourself. I also have linked to the Sizzix die if you'd rather have the Tim Holtz Retro TV die, whichever. or any other shape. Like I said, this concept works for any shape that you want to use. So I'm going to glue my picture of a TV down to my mini Rolodex card. And I'm going to leave just the holes showing at the bottom. But of course my picture is just printed on plain copy paper, so I need a little bit more substantial card. I need some place to write on the back. I need this card to have a little bit more weight than just the plain copy paper of my printed photo. So that's okay. I'm going to add a little bit of plain white cardstock to the back of my printed photo, being sure to leave the Rolodex holes at the bottom free so that this card will go into my memdex card holder. So I should have measured in advance here, but I didn't. But here we go. Got everything glued down to my extra piece of cardstock, and I've got a little extra hanging out from the sides that I'm going to trim away. Very easy to do, of course, because I've selected my photo carefully so that it's not too hard to fussy cut. I do think that's an important consideration when you're picking your picture. I did not pick one with rabbit ears for the photo because I thought that would be impossible for me to get correct. But this shape, very reminiscent of the console TVs I remember from my youth, when the remote control was the child in the household. So then I need a little bit more help at the bottom because my TV legs are sticking out just a little bit, but that's okay. I've got a little bit of glue and I've got a little bit of cardstock, and I'm going to make sure that those TV legs are supported. And with a little bit of extra cardstock and a little bit more fussy cutting, I'm going to have a very solid memorydex card shaped like a retro TV console with no special tools at all. So like I said, this concept is going to work for basically any picture, any piece of ephemera. You really don't need any special tools, but if you have dies, of course, it's also easy. So now I'm going to add my shaped cards to my DIY holder. I made my DIY holder following a tutorial from Crafty Girl Chronicles, which I will also link in the description box below. And it's been really great for these oversized shaped cards that I've been making lately. So I hope this is helpful to somebody, and I thank you for joining me today.